And there we have it, as we said. It's going to be Swift here on the defensive side, Rusty Roster on the offense. And what kind of start are we expecting from these two?
Swift lineup says us they will probably try to dominate the rail first. Gonna do it cautiously as they always do. While Rusty Roster also does not really have a lineup that can just go YOLO in. They have to feel it out because of that FVTD. But they might push with like 5 guys maybe. But there is no reason because Swift has everything to stop them. So I would say there will be a hell of a lot of spotting and slow play in the start, and then we will see the real rotations.
But look at Rusty Roster already. How many tanks are going down the 8-line, Mojo?
Whoa, that's it, boys. Time to change.
Can they pull another KB?
Oh, Basista is going really strong. That should give some hint to Swift. They should already start rotating back.
Skylax there in the E3 watching the crossing. Doesn't connect the shell, actually. So not that good that E3 could have done a lot of damage on the crossing, but so far so good for Rusty Roster. Now Swift, they have to swiftly come back to the base before it gets captured like KB managed to do.
I just noticed. Do you know who is not on TD in Swift team?
Crespix.
Yeah, he's actually playing a 50B.
Now this reminds me a lot of how KB played it, Mojo.
This is kind of a bait tactics. When you put so many 50Bs, you are waiting for a split, and Figo is spotting the back of them, and then they will push forward, I guess, on Road and Mursky.
But look at Road and Mursky. They notice they're not committing just yet. As I say that, though, now driving forward, oh, they could be in a world of hurt.
Oh, this will be a really tricky game because there will be resets coming from the back. And I think Rusty Roster is really... And there you go. Push around the corner.
Rusty Roster now pushing it forward, but look at the positioning from Road and Mursky. Both of them are fairly safe in this one at 113, trying to get the hell out of there as now the 50Bs push around the corner. Crespix is there as well. Atmospheric now joining as well. And this counter push from Rusty Roster. Prosto goes low. Catch Me goes low. It's not working out so far, Mojo.
Messing with Swift there, and Swift read them like 3 steps ahead, and they immediately pulled a lot of forces on that 5-line street, and they just shot them to pieces whenever they peaked. Now Mursky is really closely down the region. Ooh, the Pashka.
But the gap, Mojo, the gap, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. They need the reset. Is the reset going to come out? And no, it's actually going to be captured by Rusty Roster. On.
We completely forgot that. The same as Swift, I would say.
Oh no, I thought they had it.
I really thought it was easy gone, but it looks like same as we did.
With KB?
We didn't pay attention to the cap
no,
because of
like,
so many dead people.
All of a sudden I was like, cap. Oh no. They got captured against Swift, lost against KB as well by cap, if you remember.
Yeah, but this is like really cheesy and easy to intercept. I don't know.
It looks so good for Swift.
It was already won. Like they should have just pushed in.
The rotation was on point. And we said it, Mandax in Abacha drives up.
Yeah.
Shoots down, spotted everybody,
and
Road
goes after the team after that, but Pashka was waiting there, so he was scared.
We talked about Road though, Mojo, and his rotation was on point here. How quickly he ran away, that was pretty much perfect.
It was all good by them, but how they didn't pay attention to the cap so much?
Maybe that 50B was trying to beat it one.
No, he didn't have a reload yet. Like, he was coming close to finishing the reload, and he was trying to position...
No, the one that got blown up by Pashka.
Yes, that one. He was coming close to ending of the reload, and I was thinking he's trying to flank that tank one-on-one. But actually, he was trying to go for the cap, to the cap, and Pashka just blew him up and won the game by that shot.
Can't believe that just happened.
It was really cheesy, but it worked.
It did work. That was very swift. Pun game is strong.
Never misses.
Shokish is going to love that. Every day he's like, Zaki, stop making puns. And I'm like, no, never. They shall swiftly continue. I'm going to keep going hard. When we look at stats from the last round. Oh, Mojo.
Catch Me, Yamto, Figo. Well, damage-wise, honestly, most of the Swift team is there. Not that much of Rusty Roster. But that's understandable because they were doing far, far better and more.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, even surprised to see Yamto and Catch Me here in top damage dealers, honestly, after watching the game. But still, the goal is to cap or kill, so it's just not enough.
Well, nope. Swift did a lot of damage, which is all fine and well, but pretty sure it says either capture the base or kill all enemy vehicles.
Exactly.
You can see Shepshishanian there did not do much, and Basista, sure, they're doing 0 damage, but I'm fairly certain he had like almost everything in the cap. I think he had like 90 cap points.
Probably he was the only one that was kind of covered all the time from the top side, but his guys did well by lemming suiciding, so they distracted Swift.
I mean,
more
damage
than
is not
enough.
everything, because Pashka has 715, but the kill he made,
Actually saved them the game.
yep, pretty much. Like, the kill he made onto that 50B made it so Swift couldn't reset anymore. And that was it. That's the first round for Rusty Roster here.
And the fast one, in attack.
That is going to be important when we go to tiebreaker.
It's going to be really important when you go to the favorite part of the game.
Tiebreaker?
Yeah,
I love tiebreakers.
especially when you're not in production room.
Exactly.
Well, we will see how it goes. But for now, I'm really surprised that Rusty Roster actually won a game within like
I mean,
2 or 3 minutes.
That entire game, Swift seemed completely in control. They had every angle. They were very good on the rotation. Road didn't get
Everything
catched
was
out.
on
Everything was
point.
perfect.
Everything was on point.
But then Basista was like,
Honestly, except one thing. I don't know why was E3 so low on positioning. He was kind of off. I guess they didn't want to face that 405 from the hill directly, so they wanted to rotate him differently. So that's my best guess, but still, they missed him now.
no.
If he was there in a window, there would be no way to do this kind of cheese.
Now, it is going to be 1-0 for Rusty Roster. And we have the second round ready for our tank. So let's take a look what both of them decided to bring here. You can see Swift again with the E3 mojo. Not the Gorilla. Again, E3.
Yeah, they're really playing slower this time here. And Rusty Roster is also defending with FVTD. Okay, that's not that shabby also.
Didn't they last time bring the 183?
Honestly, yes, they played with both E3 and 1A3.
Called it correctly.
Yeah, your memory is well, mate. He's doing well. So they played with FV, TD, and E3, so they took a faster setup now this time, actually.
Faster setup here from Rusty Roster. Now they are going to be defending E5. We know what it's used for. It's for A5. There's a small angle there to reset the A line. So if Swift puts their 3090 there, they won't get capped like Rusty Roster did.
Well, Rusty Roster has all the chances now to go really hard in and to just defend their cap well. And if they start with 2-0, they have actually a good chance to surprise.
Does seem like our next game is ready. So let's get it on. 1-0 currently for Rusty Roster. Rusty Roster now on the defensive side. Swift on the offense. What are we seeing here?
Pretty standard opening, monitoring the rail. There's been an old kosher before. Everyone was never going to rail. It was considered to be a biggest trap. Everyone was camping in upper corners in old formats. But now you actually need a map control, so you must go there and take care of it first. And after that you can do any kind of different rotations. But Swift is also playing that hand.
Mikhailov here decides to make a spotting run. Probably won't get caught out. Deciding. Nice. Almost nice there. Just manages to land. Figo landing a nice shell there from the bat shot between under the rail actually.
A cheap shot Mikhailov took for no need there, honestly. Interesting thing is that he's now playing on tier 8 and not Road anymore. Road that was always complaining that his influence on the game was there, but not in that much of amount. It's completely changing now.
So Mikhailov on those tier 8s. Now rotation from Swift is on already. Moving towards that eastern side. Fairly normal response.
Well, so far Swift just filled out what's going on, and in their old tradition they're already rotating on another part of the map all the way back. So we're gonna see some filling out of the 2 cap. They're gonna check out Ishep Sheshenian on that position on A5. And after that we might see some of their movements.
Skylex here in that E3. It is a very strong position. You can see how his entire lower hull is hidden there behind that rubble. The issue for him is Pashka in that FVTD, who can slowly but surely 400 damage at a time pretty much, depending on how high he rolls with HE, take him down.
Let's just not forget Pashka actually needs someone else to spot that position, or he can just blind shoot it, of course. But otherwise he needs someone in front, and then he can fire his shells. He just did a blind shot there and he didn't connect.
Because, I mean, it's Skylex there. So used to seeing Crespix on the TDs. Still, Skylex there, smartly retracting back from that. Now, I mean, all the pressure now is on Rusty Roster. to rotate pretty much as Mikhailov will go on the cap.
Honestly, so far, all the Swift is doing the really standard cover of the map. We see Mersky all the way back, person holding the D line in heavy, atmospheric, Road covering his back from the 8 line, and everyone around Mikhailov. So what does it tell us? It tells us that Mikhailov is just a bait, and he will run away on first sign of pressure. Also, if someone tries to go over the field, they're just gonna collide on him. On the other hand, Rusty Roster was really reluctant to move away from the rail. They were playing quite slow, I would say, but there is enough time because the cap is not boosted yet, and they know that Shebzheshenian is up there, so no one can really boost the cap pressure from that upper side.
Crespix in at FVTD and at FV2 on 5B, trying to control Shebzheshenian there, trading a shell each. Pashka at FVTD is going to be crucial at some point in this round. I mean, depends on how we can deal with maybe Crespix, Mandax, even Skylex if it decides to push down.
Well, Figo and Basista will actually have advantage over Mersky, though they don't know it. But they are 2-on-1. It's just a question, will Mersky maybe catch one of them from the back or not? But the boost on the cap is there. We have 2 guys now, and the reaction from Rusty Roster must come in right now.
There needs to be a reset with 7 seconds left, 6 seconds left. This is the part where they need a reset. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Reset comes out, but Prosto pays heavily for that one. In return, already taking so much. In the meantime, Mersky actually managed to pick up Figo in the bat shot as well. So everything going in the favor of Team Swift right now. Catch Me on reload takes a lot. Atmospheric still in a very strong position. Crespix, yes, gets pushed on from behind, but Pashka is nowhere near the fight at this point.
We can see that that bat shot down was picked up by 3090 Basista, but Rusty Roster is heavily losing now this engagement. Also, Basista will not have a huge impact here because most of his battle tanks are already wrecked, and Swift is in better positions with more tanks together to deal with them.
Pashka really never was in this game so far. Now, Basista will try to do what he can, but with Mandax almost being off reload, he is pretty much done for as he gets rammed into Road, and Road gets the kill for that one. Yamto now gets blown up as well by Mandax, and it's just Shebzheshenian and Pashka here standing. Mikhailov even coming in.
Oh, it's gonna be a big one. Nope.
Mikhailov picks up Shebzheshenian. Can Pashka penetrate Skylex? Nope, as he hits the wreck. And it is going to be Mikhailov closing out the round there now.
Mikhailov used that situation really well on their behalf. Was quite well played there. He was mingling all the time through the tanks and doing the damage and running away.
How did Mersky manage to kill Figo?
I think there was a misplay between Basista.
Because I think Basista spotted Mersky first.
I think there was a big misplay because it was 1-on-1. Basista did not help him, he just came and killed.
That in reality. I mean, and also we talked about the FETD, we talked about it today, we talked about it in previous broadcasts.
What is the most important thing for FETD? To be in a battle on time, not after, but on time. And he didn't do the shot when the battle actually started.
No, when they were pushing D-line, he was still all the way back in A5 trying to hit Skylex.
So he missed the initial part of the battle, he missed the middle part of the battle, so he was there late when it was already pretty much over.
Pretty much a nice control round there from Swift. They knew what was happening. They had the answer for it, picking it up. Let's take a look at the stats from that last round. You can see here, Atmospheric. He was crucial in that round.
He was really crucial by damage, but we also seen a lot of guys like Mikhailov perform. Like, look at this, at 1390, one of the main damage dealers on a map. I mean, it's one thing when you see a 49.
Maybe this is why he's playing into rate now. Now he did more than Road. He's like, I want my spell back. By 5 damage, sure.
But why his spot? If he's performing well on tier 8, you should just keep him there.
I like how Mikhailov, Skylex, and Road are within 5 damage of each other.
Yeah, Skylex is in my team, so woohoo! At least something.
And Figo there.
Not much done there by Rusty Roster. They were all late and kind of a bit far apart.
I don't think Pashka did anything. 839, which was some damage onto the E3, which is exactly what the E3 wants.
Look at Prosto getting wrecked there, and Pashka just late shots. Basista also late. Those 3 guys were just late.
Late the keyword for that round. I mean,
Prosto took a lot of damage for that
one. It's what happens
when
you rotate through the D-line and you have to commit to reset the cap. By the way, I even think if Atmospheric drives forward and blocks them, they cap that round.
Probably, yes.
If he just drives forward and blocks them, I don't think...
but no one wants to do that. It's kind of a gamble, because if he does that and they decap, then he's so dead. Like, he's so dead then, and then you can lose a game for nothing. Yeah. Like, this was a better way.
This was a too split from Rusty Roster. I mean, if they want to like defend like that, Pashka and Srepshasheni need to push forward at the same time.
Yeah, it's they need to
Create
take
a
some
two-way
damage also,
overmatch.
but they would do some also. So that's how it goes. You tit for tat.
That is Himmelsdorf done and dusted though, Mojo. Now moving into steps, let's see what we got for our tanks here. Coming into our third round. And Steps is back, and I am interested to see this one.
Well, so far, Swift didn't even play Steps, so we do not know what they want to do. And Rusty didn't play that much. Steps is actually one of the rare games that defending teams has 0%.
I mean, we talked about Steps, and it blows my mind. There's so many strong defending positions, so many possible boosts, yet nobody's managed to close out a
but
defense.
we've seen so many
Chokes.
boost fails.
That is also...
Like half of the teams that actually lost games on Steps, they lost because their team members failed boost, or they went from the boost too early to try to help someone else. It was really weird, but a lot of misplays there. Like in offense, we don't have that many boosts, but I'm expecting to see some hardcore skills from Rusty Roster in defense.
Well, I mean, they have 0% win ratio in defense. But it does seem like our game is ready. Is somebody going to win on the defensive side of Steps? Let's find out.
Steps, the most open map in the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually begins the attack from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light vehicles with a good camouflage rating, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret and even SPGs.
So here we have it. Swift is going to be on the defensive side here. Rusty Roster on the offense. No surprise from Pashka in that artillery piece. And what kind of booster are we going to be seeing, Marjo?
From Rusty Roster, honestly none. Especially with this kind of lineup, with 1-1-3s, they need to press in and they need to do it now. I don't like their opening. They're not trying to cut off any kind of Swift boost. On the other hand, this is a standard one and Road back to tier 8 and looks like he did it.
I mean, we've seen Dani here as well. Can Road now make it on the first try is the important part.
We've seen Dani fail it like...
Yeah.
And we've seen Isne fail it like 3 times in a row also. That costed Kazna a game. But Swift, really standard opening now so far. Mursky, far spot down so he can see someone trying to interrupt them.
Road made
Mendex is covering him. Road is up on that. And they did not even attempt to boost anyone on A1.
No boost for Swift on A1, but they do have Road in that overlooking position there, very high up. Very nice angles. Now...
Mursky is going to do the smartest things possible. Get the hell out of there.
Just be careful though, Pashka and that artillery piece could always just remove him from the map.
We did notice that Pashka actually mainly hits his shots on those controlled ones. Like a maps, like a mines.
Now, I saw something very interesting there from Shepshishani Mojo.
Okay.
That 113, look at his equipment.
Binos!
Now, I know what this is for. It is, so if he's on the cap, the binos can spot the tier light when he's speaking over, because otherwise the 113 just don't have the view range.
Yeah, they have no way to see him otherwise.
So they use binos so they can spot that tier light.
So they're expecting that.
That's a fun fact for everybody watching.
But is it enough? Just 2 113s stuck in a cap. I think they will need at least help from one guy like Object for the pressure on that cap.
I mean, it's a nice tip and trick, you know. So far, Rusty Roster fairly defensive here. I think they pretty much have a good idea that there's somebody boosted, but look at the amount of control that Swift has already, with Crespix being very, very far in enemy territory.
Yeah, I don't like how he's turned, because honestly, if he gets pressured, which can happen, there is no way for anyone to help him. And by the time he turns his tanks, like it's easier for him than to just try to do full clip of damage than to run
also
away.
Has binos.
It's all Binos team.
It's a lot of binos.
A lot of Binos on their team, but not in Swift. So okay, so far we have info from Swift, where is the enemy, but we see no real plan of action by Rusty Roster.
Now, so far a lot of control here for Team Swift. Mojo, wouldn't you say?
Swift is controlling the map completely now, and Rusty Roster is doing pretty much nothing. They're just waiting around and, I don't know, trying to make someone mistake. So, what are the options?
It does seem, Mojo, like the game has slowed down a lot here. Let's take a look at the map and explain.
Okay, why do we have this guy here? Well, mainly because you can let go of this entire field. If they are capping, he can just peek occasionally, fire on them on top of their turrets, and make their day easier. That's why they have binos, as Ducky explained, because they want to deal with him, otherwise they can't. Why do we have all these tanks here? So we have a crossfire here, covering them, and these guys, if they try to go in the middle. So Swift more or less has every kind of control. And if the push starts, it's going to be from these sides, because most of the forces of Rusty Roster will be in this area, so they will approach them from here, from the back, and from here, like this. So those will be their action points, and they will rely solely on road to decap all the pressure off them while that is going on.
Good explanation there, Mojo. Knife throwing skills.
Well, I'm going to try to make a straight line next time, but it's okay. It's age, you know, shaking heads.
Now this is very good from Swift, because look at Catch Me. Oh no. Once Catch Me gets spotted, Mojo, that's exactly what you talked about. He is done.
Look
like,
at Prosto.
actually done.
Look at Prosto, they're all alone.
Oh, poor Catch Me.
Oh, poor Prosto also.
Poor half the team of Rusty Roster. Catch Me now gets spotted, and I think it won't take long before the pain comes.
Big hit on road.
654 lost there, and the cap is an
Yeah,
issue.
pressure is real now.
Cap-
Road has to suicide now to do this, so his team could win.
Catch Me in the meantime is, like we said, he is done for in this one at 140. Is done, but 7 seconds left on the cap. Dustista does get reset
There is the
here.
first reset.
And they abandon it. Shepshashenian drove off of it.
They cannot do it anymore. They know once the first reset was on, they have to move away. Now this is the worst scenario for the capping team. They already lost one tank. They're trying to move away from really bad position into the fight. They're still not in a fight. They're just in bad position.
They have to push these 113s here. You can see the damage coming in. Those 113s is exactly what they want to take the damage. But there's a lot of reloads here for Swift. Look at it, but the damage is still being done. And don't forget, Road from that back position. So much damage he can pump out
every
at this point.
6 seconds, 200 plus, 200 plus, every 6 seconds. And those tanks that are on low HP and that are trying to be safe, they can't because he's there all the time.
Look at it. All the combat tanks from Rusty Roster are here, surrounded in one area, and Road still landing shell after shell in that RU-251. And there's not much for Rusty Roster to be done, as now the reloads are off for Swift. Mirsky the only one with just only a few seconds left. These 113s, not much they can do in that against it. Skylex picks up Shepshashenian. Yes, they trade Skylex in return, but Rusty Roster, they're running out of tanks. They're running out of health.
I know who is lucky this game. Ryan. He just took Road in his fantasy team. He's like, go Road, go!
Road there, you could see this position. Look at the overlook he had onto the entire battlefield here. He took a lot of damage in the beginning, but him staying alive was very crucial.
It was good positioning by, I mean, good idea to take binos to counter that, but honestly, the positioning of other tanks are just horrible. Leaving that guy in a bush outside of Object 140 alone, that was the first spot they're gonna check out anyways. And leaving only one person back to cover.
It was perfect to deal with that 140.
Yeah, it was just, but we know that they're good planners. We were actually, that's why we were so surprised on that first game on Himmelserv.
Crespix picking up the final kill there, making it now 2-1 favor of Swift here. And I feel like Rusty Roster, why did they wait so long? I mean, if this was their final tactic, they could have pretty much done it from the beginning.
It didn't
they
look
gave
even
Swift so much control.
It didn't look, they even had a plan B. That was it.
But
they just took positions, then they waited, like they always wait a bit. No one came to take a bullet, and they were like, okay, time to go.
Now, I mean, just the control coming out of from Team Swift was impressive. All their positions had field day with Catch Me.
Yeah, they covered all the bases, all the angles, even if they got seriously pushed. Like, the only moment when they had an opening was when there was Crespix, or who was Mandrex, alone down with a budget. Crespix. That was the only opening which Rusty never had a chance to know. After that, wherever they would push, they would just instantly die.
If they did it instantly, Crespix wouldn't have been able to be so effective, and his entire team wouldn't be in position to deal with Catch Me.
And that was the last moment that
Rusty
actually had.
You have to force them to drive towards that capture circle before they take the entire map.
Yeah.
Because then you can make them come to that 6
Yeah, you
line.
can do some shots while they're crossing, but
Not like
like
this.
this. No, not like this, exactly.
Not like this. When we look at stats here from the last round, Mojo, and it is going to be Mersky. I mean, very even spread here for Team Ding. Team Swift.
Wow. Swift is doing pretty well there. Mersky on first spot here, but all around this is not that important. I just expected to see Road somewhere here, honestly.
I think he's probably spot 8 or 9. I mean, that was a very swift recovery.
Wow.
It's,
And there you go,
there we
Road
go.
is
Road.
1700 damage. But
2 kills. I mean,
yeah, he was picking off. But I've even seen him miss several guys.
he was also shooting H3 in the beginning when they pushed off the cap. So then he switched to heat.
Yeah, but I've seen like 1 or 2 shots were a miss, but it didn't really matter. Overall, Swift overwhelming
I mean,
positions.
any damage he does from that position, it's like the RT you talked about on Prokhorovka. Remember in our previous matchup, it's the scare factor.
Yes,
They know that if
he
they
just
give him
needs
more
to
time,
reset. He just needs to reset and
Exactly.
buy time. But honestly, it's really good for his team because other guys were also in position to take a bullet if needed, because if it all resided on Road, they would lose this game.
also, it's the first time Defender managed to win a round
Wow,
of steps.
Eureka. And he even got spotted. So, well done, Swift. Number 1 in
Number
something.
1.
In something at least.
Wow, Mojo, that's deep.
I know.
What do you think? I think you should take a lineup. Take a look at the
I can't just
lineups.
respond to that one because, you know,
You can see Swift here coming out with the artillery. I mean, who's going to be playing that for Swift? And Leopard 1 for Rusty Roster. That smells to me like a boost with 2-3 tanks like we've seen before for the Eastern Mountain.
yeah, we've seen a lot of guys, honestly, more from the Russian league, from CIS, play the Leopard than from here. But that is exactly the position where Road was, and usually you use at least one guy to push him up to get some speed, and then he goes there, and then you have a serious damage dealer there. But I really don't know what is the plan of Rusty Roster, because last time we checked, their climbing skills were not that great.
Was it them that tried to boost the Gorilla up 3-4 times?
Rusty? They played only one game on steps.
Yeah, and I think it was them.
Could be. I don't remember that far.
Not
It was
100%
long
sure.
ago.
But it does seem like our game is ready, so let's get into it. The fourth round between these two. My counting is off today, Mojo.
Quite. But the Swift lineup, honestly, I like it. A lot of mediums there. Object 140 for some cooldown, and if you need to put someone in cap, and light RT to, well, just take care of anyone who is really on some pesky positions like a boost.
Fairly certain it was Rusty Roster that tried to boost the Gorilla the last time. It took them a while.
Okay,
but
this
so
is
far,
a better opening now. You see by Swift, they are quickly taking charge of that side. They are trying to prevent anyone get boosted on 8-3, and
oh look, what a surprise, Mojo!
what a surprise by Prosto. But let's see, this can go both ways.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, went well,
Well,
for
it
them
went
so
well.
far.
I mean, knocking over that tree. Actually, you think it's not a lot of info, but Mojo, you can explain that it is with an
Knocking
artillery
entire
piece.
forest here.
Ooh, Pashka.
Pashka solo
Ah.
climb, nice.
Well done, Pashka. Now, this is the boosting we talk about, or climbing. This gives them a lot of control here. Mojo, explain what the RU-251 just, how much control it really gives them.
They effectively have control of the boat caps now, so they really don't have to engage with all tanks. It will be quite a hard time now for Swift to decap, especially that little Ru, if he manages to go on higher position. Now that's the key. He actually has to do one more segment of boosting, so he would be safe, and so he can just peek around. Also, a huge problem for Rusty Roster that still doesn't know that Ru is in that position. He can peek over and maybe kill an RT in some worst possible moment for them.
Yeah, we've seen this before, even in other regions. If that RT sits there and he gets spotted, he usually goes down.
Like, imagine a scenario, guys. So, Swift guys are committing. They put a guy on a cap. They put a left and right. A lot of people that are prepared to shoot someone who peeks over. But Ru peeks over, rests the cap, and you have a distant snipers who are taking them out because they are not invisible anymore.
Look at Pashka. If he just peeks like 3 inches right here, he's spot the Artie. He just needs to peek a little bit towards his right side, as you can see now on the screen. There is the Artie. I mean, I don't think, it'd be not worth it for him to commit at this point.
No, nothing is going on now. He just needs to sit there and be very happy and let Swift actually strangle themselves. Like in every good scenario, Rusty Roster at the moment has a huge advantage.
Now, people might be wondering, why does this RU251 not decide to peek? Well, guys, that is because if he does decide to peek, it gives away a major part of the strategy. The better thing for him to do is to wait. Let somebody casually drive on the cap, then get his teammates in position, tells them he's going to spot, peek over, spot the guy on the cap, and that's one free tier 10.
That's more or less what he said. So here we are, Rusty Roster carelessly driving around, not aware of the fate.
Swift so far has no ID here now.
They're probably wondering why is no one getting spotted all the time. Like, why is Rusty Roster playing so passive? Is it possible they're playing so passive? Are they rotating? Are they doing
By the
this
way,
or that?
What helped Rusty Roster is that Pashka spotted one of the bad shots in the beginning when he was climbing up, and they thought he was in the bushes, so they blind fired, and now they probably think he ran away.
Yeah, pretty good for Rusty Roster all the way.
I have fear for Mikhailo's life. I really fear for it.
It's really hard now to deal with this situation because Rusty Roster even has a Leopard up. So even if you counterattack those tanks, he will keep shooting them and Pashka will shoot them in the back. Pashka can deal with this cap. But also there is a chance he will just peek and let someone else decap.
I mean, he really should, to be honest. He shouldn't be the one to commit for the reset. I'm just waiting for his team to get in position to shoot. It all depends on when Pashka decides to make the peak.
Well, we have 70 seconds available.
He has a sea of time. I mean, he could even wait for two guys to drive on the cap. Don't think Swift is aware at this point. I really don't think so.
No, they have no clue. Like you can see by tank positions, they really don't know what's going on. Why is everything going so smoothly? Why is everything going so
Where is Rusty
easy?
Roster hiding?
Where is Rusty Roster? Well, there's some kind of... You can't even call them blind shots.
Oh.
Educated shots.
Pashka, is he going to go for it? Oh, they actually got the reset. I mean, he didn't even have to spot. They just blind shot Mikhailov. This is great for Rusty Roster.
This is brilliant for them. 5 minutes in, and they are still in all the good positions, and Prosto is still up on a hill, and Pashka is still on this hill.
Out of all people, it was Prosto that got the reset.
Well, it's possible. It's done
I know.
far before, like by blind shooting. It's kind of standard even from tier 8 formats.
See Prosto here. He has a nice angle towards that cap. A fun thing and an important thing for anybody that gets on this mountain. Your shells have a capped limit of how far they can travel. So if you go too far up, they don't actually reach the cap.
It's like 600 something meters.
So you have to keep that in mind. If he was further back, then the shell would never reach the cap. Something to keep in mind if you're on that mountain.
But the shells of Rusty are definitely hitting from time to time, and they always have a backup plan now.
I'm still waiting for Pashka. And another reset.
Another blind one.
Great blind shooting so far.
So far, 3 shots.
Oh man, no, this is horrible for Swift. They're gonna put 3 guys on the cap and Skylex joins. Oh no. Just waiting now for Pashka to ruin everything for them. And there we go. Everybody from Swift spotted. They're like, hello. I mean, the damage is very little, actually.
It doesn't matter. 4 minutes in, damage is still incoming.
Oh, Mikhailov.
Road no driver. Mikhailov on 1 shot. Yeah,
Artie
there is lots of damage.
Spotted. As we said, Pashka found Mirsky. Can he take Mirsky down?
Mirsky is gone.
Mirsky is hiding behind that rock. There's a little rock there.
He cannot leave.
He's hugging that rock like it is his life there, that Artie.
Rocky's life, mate. We
Rock
already know that.
Oh, Mirsky. What does Swift do now? They have 3 minutes and 29 seconds
Think
and
about
nothing
the next
to
map.
work off.
That's what they do. This is so done. The only way to win this at the moment is if Rusty Roster makes a huge mistake, maybe if Pashka suicides. But even then, they have so many HP and tanks, they can just go for it.
I mean, the round is never really over, but Rusty Roster 4,000 HP up at this point.
And all the positions needed to defend anything possible.
And Prosto never left that mountains, even if Swift does decide to rotate. There's a Leopard 1 there.
A lot of guys made that mistake and
Of
left
leaving
that
too
position and left it too early, and then they paid it with a game.
Well, Rusty Roster did really well. They did great blind shots so far. I mean, they didn't even have to commit Pashka for a few minutes
Yeah,
there.
Pashka was saved until last 4 minutes or something. He didn't have to even show his presence.
I think it's going to be an all-out middle push here for Swift. It's really the only option they have left.
Even then, they can't kill everyone. So they need to, guys, they need to push the D-line together.
Kill everybody,
Kill
Prosto.
everybody except Pashka or Prosto, and then they still need to cap with 3 guys. So they need to have 3 guys
which
alive.
both caps are covered.
Yeah. So they need to kill everyone,
Well,
and they cap with 3 guys.
Here comes the push, though, from Swift. The entire team here trying to do something, but Rusty Roster's position should be good. Actually, Shepshishenian gets surprised a little bit in that one. That 1-1-3 there. But it does seem like Skylex Atmospheric, they're just going forward. This is the last desperation attempt. That 1-1-3 completely out of position. Shepshishenian goes down. But Prosto takes road in return. And these Batchas, they only have a limited amount of ammo as Skylex now goes in, is on reload. And now it's time to clean up for Rusty Roster.
Now, a lot of damage down there. It looked very, very flashy, but after all, Rusty Roster, 5,000 damage, and 5 guys still in play. Swift, 1,300, 1,400, and dropping, and only 2 guys alive. Sorry, but outplayed.
Atmospheric there, the last guy alive in the Batchat, and Prosto and that Leopard can still land shell after shell. As he misses it though, but it's still, it won't matter at this point. But 1 minute left, Basista is now coming in for the kill. Can he pick up Atmospheric? Or is Atmospheric going to outplay Basista? It feels like Basista is getting a little bit outplayed here, but he'll be fine in the end as Prosto helps out his buddy. Atmospheric goes down.
A lot of help there, and there is 60 seconds to go. And we shall see a duel Yamto and Mirsky.
I mean, if Yamto doesn't win this...
Well...
Oh, Mirsky with the jukes. Mirsky with the jukes.
But
he's driving into Pashka.
But Pashka didn't leave the hill at all. He's just like, finish the game, guys.
I want to bet Pashka still manages to pick it up in the end there. As it is Pashka to pick it out. And it's going to make the score all even here between these two. And that was brilliant from Rusty Roster.
Okay, we have...
Finally, the defense played out correctly.
Rusty Roster, the best Steps team in the league confirmed.
What?
Steps teammate.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least in one row.
Finally, the defense played out correctly. That was well done. That was on point. Blind shots were pretty on point as well.
Yeah, it was quite impressive. It looked like those old formats when you would rely actually on those blind shots a lot.
That reminded, I mean, it doesn't remind me fully, but Wombats on Tanks was one of those teams that was scary to drive on the cap on.
Yeah,
because you would get hit and 3 seconds after you took 3 more for your trouble.
Yeah, they were like a sector covering.
Yeah, that's how a lot of what it means with the sector covering. A lot of teams, when they blind fire, they divide the cap into small sectors.
And then everyone has designated targets, and then he just shells left and right. So everything is more or less, it's not chaotic like, oh, we hit, where did you hit? Like,
so it's like divided in 4 sectors, for example. Everybody shoots 1 different sector. Somebody hits sector 1. All of a sudden, all the guns go to that sector.
Yeah, and in those formats, you had all those fast reloaders, like 5-6 seconds. So it was really hectic in that. But let's see what happened here.
Let's take a look at the stats from that last round. And it is going to be Basista here. Not bad. Prosto.
What? Never seen that one before. Did Basista even go number 1?
How did he do so much damage? And why did Prosto do more?
But Prosto was just blind shooting. But in this last push, I guess he even didn't have that much option how to fire on them all the time. But...
It's not about damage in this one. It's just the total outplay from Rusty Roster, pretty much.
I guess Basista managed to connect most of the shells
and
when they were running away.
Yeah, and then when they pushed in.
Yeah.
Shepshishenian there, he was not ready for that one.
No, but Pashka 1400 damage, but crucial play there.
Spotting.
Number 1, he climbed, he didn't fail. So actually Rusty lost the game. I remember they failed the climb where Pashka is. That's how they lost that one.
Now, damage in this one really completely irrelevant. Yes, nice Rusty Roster killed all of them, but they were going to win that round no matter what. After the first 5 minutes, it was pretty clear to both me and Mojo that for Swift, really there wasn't much to be done.
It was only seven guys that were not aware of that, and they were in Swift team. Sorry, boys. But what can you do? Better planning wins.
True. And that is steps done and dusted. Now moving on to Ghost Town.
Wow, that's gonna be a tricky one. We've seen Swift play this with so million of rotation going left and right. I think they played 4 against Ding, like going up
4
and down the map
rotations?
before they
Well,
managed.
I think they went every single side twice at least.
They pushed in last 90 seconds in that match.
Ding all of the time was
They died.
Ding was all the time sitting in one square.
Yeah.
Oh, that was brilliant. But let's take a look at the lineups though, moving into our 5th round now between these two. On to Ghost Town and Swift. The E100 been coming out a lot here for a lot of teams.
Yeah, pretty much. E100 is used more and more because of that bouncy HP pool. And we have a lot of 57s here. That's unusual for Swift. That's new for them. On the other hand, Rusty roster in attack, 2 tier 9, that's their usual.
I think slowly
the
but
usual
surely
game.
teams will start transitioning away from the 50B on
To
Ghost Town
57.
to 57. And 50B will primarily be used on Himmelsdorf because of the speed and relocation
Speed and
power.
rotation is
And
really important.
But on Ghost Town, you really don't need
Yeah,
it as
it's more
attacker or
static.
defender.
And we've seen it well used on Morovanka also. So there is use on several maps, you can really utilize them.
And the armor is very strong on it now as well. But it does seem like our teams are ready. It's all even. Now moving into Ghost Town. Here we have it now. Swift is going to be defending and Rusty Roster on the offense. And Mocho, that lineup of Rusty Roster kind of tells us they want to go base 1.
Yeah, this is really lined up for that, but we've seen so many teams that kind of use it as a bait and then just go other side. But I don't know, Rusty roster doesn't seem like that. I think they will go for one side. Swift does not have an RT to deal with that, but they have an E100. We already said when he angles correct, he's high enough so he can just shoot the top of their turrets.
Yeah, that E100 is such a high superstructure. He can easily hit the top of the turrets of those. Well, not easily, but more doable than other tanks. Both batch rats here just making some spotting runs. Actually, all the batch rats just making spotting runs. Nobody's on reload, and it gets your team some info.
Well, Road and Prosto spotted each other, respectively. And Mikhailov spotted each other with, who's the other batch rat? Pashka? Yeah, Pashka. So they are all running away, and there is no further info where actually the heavy tanks are. But this is quite interesting now, because Rusty roster is completely positioned defensive, like they're expecting Swift to push in, because Swift knew to have some really offensive pushes in defense here.
If you remember when Rusty played against Legend, it's a very weird Ghost Town they played. Very slow as well.
I know you remember it well.
Yeah. Siamto Lanson. I was still trying to figure out what you meant with that one.
Because you were casting it.
Oh, yes, true. But look at this already. The push here from Swift, very aggressive. They're taking the fight to Rusty Roster. And like we said, Rusty Roster playing very slow so far on Ghost Town. Not only here, but before
Mersky
as
is
well.
doing really risky thing climbing here. This can be his demise, actually, because if they take a good angles, they can really wreck him. But there is no one in defilate on B0. So he's doing it harmlessly, without punishment.
Those
A rotation coming down from the batches from Rusty Roster. Look at this.
Well, it's 2 tier 10 batch shots over there, so if they meet Road and Mikhailov should be able to win that. But now Swift still has a lot of good control here. Krespik spotting one corner, Atmospheric in that E100 controlling everything else, and Mirsky spotting any possible rotation. It's a good position from Swift, but Prosto does get spotted there.
We need to see those bat shots and what's going to happen there, because this is the moment where the game will be broken.
No, there is a potential here for an overmatch from Swift. Onto those bat shots with 157, for example.
Oh, what are they doing?
Running away.
That's the smartest play, actually, at the moment,
Yeah.
because they already got spotted. Ooh, lucky Prosto! Just a repair kit instead of some damage and God knows what else.
So, both bat shots getting out for free there. I mean, minus the repair kit for Prosto. But now, Rusty Roster has a lot of tanks stuck. They really need to get on that capture circle somehow.
I really don't like that Mirsky's position. It's quite horrible. Honestly, if they remember and put one guy back, he can just punish him all the time. and they can do nothing about it. Oh, that T100 doesn't connect again.
So far, no luck for Atmospheric. Managed to land one, but he actually wants to push up here as well. But Catch Me is on that corner waiting. Swift maybe a little bit over-eager here to do some damage.
Just taking a pounding for no reason there.
Catch Me, that was one shot too much he tried to make in his 50B as he takes a big one in return from Atmospheric.
And they were just trying to chip off the damage of Swift really nicely.
Crespix is overextended here in his 1-1-3. Yamto and Shepshashenian see the overmatch. They take the overmatch as well. Crespix really needs to back off here, but Shepshashenian non-penetration there. Yamto as well. A lot of shells here missed on Crespix. This is not good so far. Atmospheric in the backlines does get picked up. And how is Crespix still alive at this point?
I don't know. They're playing 2-on-1 and people are dying elsewhere actually from the Swift. And he's the one who was supposed to die like a minute ago.
Now, Shepshashenian should be the one picking up Crespix here. If he doesn't, he's going to lose. If Crespix actually managed to kill Yamto, this is not great from Rusty Roster. Now, Shepshashenian finally picks up Crespix, but so much HP being traded for that. Road does go down, and Mirsky now on the crossing, getting some shells from Catch Me.
What a foul play by Swift. Like, I really don't understand. Why did they even play that aggressive? There was no pressure of Rusty Roster. Like, Swift is literally hanging themselves by the neck.
Not sure what's going on here. Shepshashenian could pick up. No, he doesn't pick up Mirsky.
Oh my
It
god.
feels like penetrating 1-1-3s is very hard at this point, but it's still looking good for Rusty Roster at this point. About double the HP for Swift as Mirsky actually picks up Shepshashenian.
I think Wale
trying
had a
to clip Pashka.
good description of this kind of situation, but we are not allowed to repeat it. But Rusty Roster picks up the game here for us, quite surprisingly so, because Swift was pushing into them for a reason of
No idea.
no idea whatsoever.
Prosto then, nice shell. Between those wrecks, Mirsky the last one standing. He can do as much as he wants in this one, but it won't be enough as Catch Me comes around the corner. But it is going to be Basista picking it up, now making it 3-2 in favor of Rusty Roster. And Swift, boys, you guys played it so well and then threw it.
Swift boys,
Completely.
you do know if you get to tiebreaker with Rusty Roster, you are bound to lose. 100% proven
Their
so far.
initial position was so great. They had complete control. Shepshasheni and Yamto are locked out completely.
And you
They can't
just
do anything.
stay and wait there.
And you just wait. You just Crespix was
What was so hard to wait there?
Crespix on the other corner behind him had like an easy. They feel they're controlling them.
Okay,
and
I know what's the problem. The definition of defense, guys, is you don't get kept or you kill the enemy, but you don't have to kill
no,
the
it's
enemy.
actually protect the friendly base.
Yeah, there you go. Protect your base. You don't have to go and kill them. There you go. Helps.
That was weird. Like Atmospheric pushing forwards, taking damage there. Catch Me actually should have traded better there. Took one from Atmospheric in return, but then Crespix and then Shepshasheni and Yamto. How many shells did they miss on Crespix?
Yeah, that was a lovely little battle on that side, while everyone else was dying elsewhere. But they had a private war there that still ended up badly.
Let's take a look at the stats from that last round, and we can see that it is Mirsky.
Mirsky number one.
Crespix should
numero
have done
uno.
800 damage in that one. Not 2k, but like 800, two shots.
Yeah, I think Mirsky did like 2k there for free because they were bouncing him all the time.
But then Prosto, Catch Me, Basista, Figo. Swift really just overcommitting the team that...
I still don't understand. Some of these moves are... I guess the only logical explanation is there are no fast games with the Rusty Roster. Every match has
I mean,
to
we
be a
talk
long
about
one.
Rusty Roster, how they wait for other teams to make a mistake. Basista even said it at one point, you know, you don't always have to attack on the attack. You can just wait for the defender, which is exactly what Swift did.
You know, guys, just if you don't know, just watch Skype interviews. A lot of teams actually say stuff that they do.
That was really weird from Swift, a team that usually plays so well, slow, methodically.
And smart. This was like pretty much the stupidest thing they could have done.
Felt like
and
they
no
just
ghost
wanted
rounds.
to finish the rounds too quickly.
Hey, they're gonna sit for a couple of more rounds because of this one.
If it goes to tiebreaker, we know who has the quickest offense.
For sure. We've seen the cap work. So, what do we have now? A rotation in the sides. Maybe Swift will take a better side in offensive.
I mean, in offense, at least they can drive forward and try to kill them.
Yeah, and they can at least rotate because they're supposed to rotate.
I'm still not over that run. That was really weird from Swift. really speechless. I feel like they should have won that 10 out of 10 times.
Well, honestly, in today's matches, even the one before, the Wild Bunch and Oops, we've seen so many mistakes by both teams, and this match today is not really an like it's like everyone was, I don't know, on some same kind of mushrooms or something. Like you're making all kind of weird choices here.
Swift will be on the offense, and let's take a look at the lineup, see what they got ready for us. Maybe 6100s, but no, it's only going to be one.
But we have 357s, more popular meta overall. Well,
Rusty Roster with the AMX30, we know what that's for.
do we?
Yeah, we do. We've seen it already. A8, he boosts himself up
Ah, yeah, he boosted himself there.
because he has
Handicap.
speed and he has a good gun.
So we have a standard lineup here, more or less, by Rusty Roster, except they're using the T9 medium instead of something else, and T10, so they have more firepower. But that many FE heavies, I don't like them. They're really defensive. Once you have to push in your enemy with that, you're kind of cornered.
They have great DPM, but the 57s can shred through them.
Yes, we've seen it happen more than once, especially KB versus
We've
TWP
also
Gaming last time.
Seen it. I mean, our game is ready, so let's get into it. The 6th round between these two. Currently, Rusty Roster up 3-2 here, and Swift on the offense and Rusty Roster on the defense. What I was going to say is we've seen it from KB. When they put those bad shots on the cap, the MX-30, it's good and all, but I don't think he'll be on time.
Honestly, I like Swift's setup much more, but then again, they might find a new perspective way how to suicide themselves. It's always a possibility.
Now, Pashka here. So we talked about doing the climb here, not A8, A2 is what I meant. Can he make it? Nope, he lost too much speed in the beginning. We'll get another try.
And there is plenty of time to do that, because so far Swift just... Well, they're making this old school crossfire here. If there is an enemy between them, they're gonna pretty much shred him.
Pashka round number 2.
Doesn't look like it.
Nope. Okay, third time's the charm, Pashka. Third time is the charm. Feels like Rusty Roster is back to old habits. Failing climbs.
But Pashka did manage the one on steps, which is much harder, so let's give him some credit.
Well, he's coming in for try number 3, so...
While he's doing that, Jumbo is breaking everything in the cap, and there is a push by these budgets.
And he
There we go,
made it.
Pashka.
But there's triple cap pressure, so he has to get up. He gets an angle. Should be able to reset.
Atmospheric is, while that's going on, hugging the house and trying to provide some cover. 20 seconds on a counter.
It's going to have to be Pashka to reset. I mean, he has the angle now. 16 seconds left. Here, Atmospheric takes some in his E100. Somebody has to spot him.
10 seconds,
there's the
and there is
blind
a
shot.
reset.
It's a nice shot there from Pashka. Now, it looks like this is going to be the push, though, from Swift here. Mirsky already taking a lot, crossing with those T57 heavies. Look at the fire from the side, Mojo. Those 50Bs in a perfect position there. Skylex feels the pain as those 50Bs blow him up, and it's actually Mandax to fall first. Now, those 50Bs doing so much from the side there, and Team Swift, they were forced into a commitment, and Rusty Roster so far having all the answers.
Skylex is hiding behind the 100. He's clinging to his life there to get the reload and maybe punch some more shells to the Rusty Roster side, but the damage is done. Mandrake is down. They're on really bad positions here, and Rusty Roster seems to have everything under control, surprisingly.
Rusty Roster so far seeming very good in this one. Now Road is taking a lot as well as Figo. It's going to be the one to pick it up, and slowly but surely Swift is running out of HP, they're running out of guns, they're running out of everything, as there is still 7 tanks. As I say that though, Pashka goes down, 6 tanks alive for Rusty Roster.
Unreal, but it looks like Rusty Roster will go to the match point, and Swift hung themselves on Ghost Town.
It does feel like that, as Mirsky and Mikhailov, the last 2 standing, the last hope here for Swift. They're going to be losing points no matter if they bring it to a tiebreaker or not, as Rusty Roster want to put themselves onto that match point. They need these points desperately as well. Mikhailov, the last one standing, and there's a lot of things that Swift need to think about here.
This is a really big problem now, because we already said Swift has serious opponents up ahead.
They need the points here.
They need the points here,
But
but
so does
also
Rusty Roster.
Rusty Roster needs them desperately.
Catch Me comes around the corner, claims Mikhailov. That will put Rusty Roster on match point.
It's gonna be a brilliant season, mate, because I don't think until the last day we will actually know which 4 teams will drop out.
That was I mean, Swift, I understand their tactic. KB has done it, but if you look back at the on YouTube, when KB played this, I also said afterwards, the easiest counter to beat this, you drive somebody up into A1, and he just resets, which
Yes.
is exactly what
If you
just
have
happened.
a spot, and Rusty Roster actually planned it out well.
This is what
They
we
didn't
talked
try
about
to
last
do
time.
rotation. They didn't try to suicide their team. They just did good coverage. FV Heavy broke all those houses.
Even if Pashka failed it 3 times, they still were on time to reset. And it's
Yeah.
also because of Swift driving a very long route.
Yes. So if Swift maybe if they enter the cap straight away,
Sure.
there would be a high chance they would
You
win.
also have to imagine that Pashka should normally make it from the first time.
Yes, but you don't need to actually skill to enter the cap from the first.
That is true. And then this kind of cheese, if you want to call it like that, really only works once. Last time, a lot of teams when KB did it saw how to counter it. We even said how to counter it. Put somebody on A1, that AMX30, it was used before for exactly that thing. Yet Swift didn't adapt. Everything we credited them for in their last match seems like it's not working out
We
today.
are perfect jinx for anyone, mate.
Yeah, you jinxed them. Well, we look at stats here from the last round, but where they looked so impressive, last time they played, they looked so bad this time.
And look at this. Rusty Roster on the rise. 5 of them.
Rusty Roster made Swift meat out of those T57s.
Well, Rusty Roster are playing hard here, definitely, and we are looking at another phase of them. This is finally something that suits them because those defensive sides are their games.
Let's just hope that Team Swift doesn't rage quit and starts dinging their shells, Mojo.
Oh, wow.
What's your comeback for that one?
I didn't see that.
Currently,
one coming.
Rusty Roster is definitely in a utopia.
And the final map, Ruinberg.
Ooh, that is not good. If you would like to call it like that, is not good at all. Especially seeing as Swift currently has a clean sheet on Ruinberg, Mojo, don't they?
They haven't played it yet. Honestly, yeah, they haven't played it yet. Rusty Roster played it just a bit. But the interesting part here for me is Ruinberg was more or less in old formats, really defensive map. Done in the start of this season, everyone was winning attack like it's nothing.
We blame it on the lighter setups as well.
Yeah, but now again, Ruinberg is starting to be again a defensive side, and it's again back on
I
like
guess
60% almost.
I guess it's natural as teams start learning more and more about the way teams like to attack. They start adapting more and more.
Yeah, 2 of us were talking today because when the season started, the first couple of match days, winning rate of attacking team was almost 60%. So that's really unusually
Really high.
But week after week, as
starting
we're
to-
casting, it's dropping, and now it's back to 55%
Yep,
to
something like that.
45. So that's almost 1% going
Like-
down. That's quite a lot.
We also figured that the reason for this is that the more and more teams play, the more and more the meta gets exposed, how teams play, how they like to approach things. The more and more teams also figure how to beat different strategies, get more experience under their belt, recognize lineup, recognize strategies, and have set rotations.
More or less, I think we are at that stage where the meta will be settled up
Pretty
for
much.
a certain amount of time, and they will probably go with really some revolutionary new stuff when
Later.
when the A team is only here. But let's see what these guys have ready for us on Ruin.
Let's take a look at the lineups here. And we can see Swift comes out with the Gorilla and 2 T5041s, Mojo.
Oh, Swift, really risky setup there. I guess they want some cheeky shots on the middle immediately there. We see these new additions nicely because we have those swords in attack, so we know Swift is attacking. Rusty Roster is defending. Rusty Roster really standard setup, just counter attack with 1-1-3s. Not sure that I liked it that much, honestly. But
we talked about it. We kind of like FE215Bs on Ruinberg.
yeah, they actually work out there really well. But
Armor,
this is,
HP, DPM.
this is more brawl-like setup. I'm not sure if you can really get easily flanked with this. If you put these guys somewhere down, so they need to keep upper ground all the
Where are
time.
they going to put the T5041s though? Because they really can't drive straight through the middle, so they have to come from south or north. Because if they drive through middle, they're dead.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
Gonna have to find out more drives. I do think our teams are ready, so let's get into our possibly last round onto Ruinberg.
Runeberg, a mixed type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the centre square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armoured heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the centre or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
But it seems Mojo Swift is on the offense here and Rusty on the defense. Now, I want to see what these T-5041s do because it's a very interesting pick.
Maybe it's some kind of pressure on a top cap where you can put them, and once you already make some advancement, they can be a good rotation force.
Mojo, look where these T-5041s are going. Is this going to be a North split? Is it going to be an A-line?
They're using them instead of 113s.
So they probably will go to F6. What do you think? I mean, that's what it looks like, to clip anybody in the north.
So what Ducky means, guys, usually when you do this, there is a high pressure up, and then these guys will come and try to clip these tanks in the back. From using that middle road, they'll just drive there, they will pump up every shell. If they survive, fine. If they don't, the pressure should be already done. So this is a pincer kind of attack. The only unusual thing is having Mirsky there in the middle. He's honestly their weak link at the moment. If he's heavily pushed, they can seriously lose the game.
I mean, what's the great thing about this, Mojo, is I guess instead of committing the 113s like you said, they go to F6 where they can shoot all the way up to A7, A8 where Prosto is currently sitting. You can see when they push up, they'll have easy shots. Now, they don't commit their 113s for this.
Mendex there doing some initial damage. And here comes the push.
Here comes the push now from Swift. They need to get across here without taking as much damage. Atmospheric taking the first, those 50 Bs. Missing a lot of shells, you can say. They should have done a lot more in this one. Pretty much a free crossing here for Swift. And these T-54E1s, they have to commit now because Mirsky is getting pushed on at the same time. They have to pick whether they help their 113 or they decide to go for Prosto.
Rusty Roster is not in good positions at the moment, guys. Though they're doing the damage and they have HP advantage, they're in bad positions because these guys holding the A line are a big problem. Now, the best choice for them would be just to collide on those down.
They need to push it onto Mikhailov as Yamto does. Now, Road Mandax, they need to try and take as much distance as they possibly can. Basista needs to go down here for Swift. Road, don't think he'll be making out of here. Yamto has to be careful.
Yamto, don't aim. Drive, man. You have like 3 guys shooting you in the back.
But Catch Me does clean up Road. Mandax did get out of there. Now, Swift didn't... I mean, it seemed okay in the beginning, but the counter push in the middle for Rusty Roster was well.
Well, Mendex managed to survive, but the HP advantage is huge, and Basista surviving will actually prove to be a huge problem for Swiss there.
Mandax Figo trading here one-on-one so far in the favor of Mandax though, but now going back to Figo as Pashka comes around the corner and cleans him up. Nobody touches my teammate without me helping. And now 3 guys left for Swift. As I say that, 2 of them go down. Let's on to Crispix.
Where, guys, we are witnessing history now. Last time we've seen Legend get their first point, and this will be a first victory for Rusty Roster with 3. Not a tiebreaker one.
I mean, Team Swift, the team we thought was going to be on the rise, they've lost it all in this one. Crespix, the last one standing. Basista moving forward, Prosto moving forward. Crespix, he can't do anything in this one. His team is going to go down as it's going to be Pashka picking it up, and it will be Rusty Roster picking up their first full 3 points. Not bad, Rusty Roster. Not bad.
I think Swift will look back on this match and bang their heads when they see the mistakes they've done.
The team on the rise now went back to their old habits.
This looks like start of the season for them. Some initial mistakes that they were doing when they were losing the matches, now they are back in play. Rusty Roster on the other side, the probably slowest team in league here.
It actually worked.
Yeah, made Tortoise attack. Like they made a goal. They made a goal. And clean. 5-2.
The first 3 full points against the team we thought on the rise now would be making short work of Rusty Roster.
So we will have a Rusty Roster now, guys, with 7 points after 7 matches. It even rhymes. And they're still in play. They're still in play.
Everything is doable.
Wow, Basista